All right, boys. Welcome to the Maxi Canalla Show. I'm Maxi, and this is my daily World Cup coverage, reaction, storylines, and previews and predictions for the knockout stage. Today we're gonna be looking at Morocco versus Canada and France versus Paraguay. The reviews of yesterday's round of eight, and then we're gonna be previewing Brazil and Norway and England Mexico. It's do or die football now. Win or go home. Let's get into it. All right, boys. So we have a lot to cover. But before we get to the reviews of the round of eight games that we had yesterday, I want to talk about the round of 16. We had we're gonna cover all of the round of 16 later on, but I just want to hit on one game, the Argentina Cabo Verde game. What a game! What an absolute game! I did not expect that game from Cabo Verde. They play phenomenal football. What a good strategy they had, and they made it impossible for Argentina. Argentina as well played a bad game. Not to downplay Cabo Verde's performance, but Argentina truly did not play up to their level. That's the truth. McAllister and Enzo, I think, were were pretty not on their level throughout the whole game. McAllister playing five is still a doubt that I have. And I think Scaloni is gonna have to make a change there. Probably move McAllister up and put Paredes as five. Truly, I think that'll be the best thing because McAllister's playing out of position. It's not comfortable for him, and you can tell in the match he's not having as much impact as he normally has. And Enzo, I think he has good. He's had a good World Cup, but this game was just he didn't perform up to his level. De Paul I think played well, but taking him out too early, I think maybe the change would have been Enzo because we also saw him that he had a lot of cramps and stuff. He wasn't physically there, so I would have taken Enzo off. Maybe I think the change was premature for De Paul. Nico Gonzalez, another change, probably the right change, more dynamic, more fast, probably what we needed. But he didn't get into the game properly either. Uh, but what a game from Licha Martinez. What a phenomenal game from Licha. An assist for Messi and scoring the 2-1 in extra time. What a phenomenal game from him, truly. And in the back, he was solid. Another great game was El Cuti Romero played phenomenal. Took everything out from the back. No chance of getting past him. He was super solid, just like we know. And of course, the standout player was Messi, no doubt. What a game for Messi. Um, at 39 years old to be doing what he did, staying on the field for 120 minutes, running till the last minute. At minute 85, I think he took on a player on the right side and passed him at minute 85, running. What a phenomenal player! It's incredible what he does. But uh, Messi being the only one that really took any initiative in the attack was a little bit worrying. I think Thiago Almada was the one that we wanted to look to do what Messi was doing, but couldn't find it. And I think that's going to be a problem for the next games. So Scaloni's going to have to take a look at that as well. Thiago Almada hasn't been to the level we need, and you can tell in this squad Argentina's really missing that creative second player that Di Maria was. We're missing Di Maria quite a bit, and we were hoping Almada to be somewhat the the one who comes in after, but he's having a hard time, and I think it's time for a change at least for the World Cup. You got to put in who's best in the moment. So I think Scaloni's up to those changes. We've seen it last World Cup. and it was a hard hit for Argentina to be 3-2 Cabo Verde extra time. But I believe Scaloni is gonna make the proper changes. I think he's gonna do what's needed for Argentina. And I'm actually really hopeful for Argentina because playing bad, they still could beat Cabo Verde at 3-2. And I think it's just, we have to applaud what Cabo Verde did in this World Cup. Bocinia, what a keeper he is. And that second goal from Cabral was insane. What a goal. That's the Puskas goal for sure in the World Cup. That was just such a phenomenal goal. My God, what a goal. All right. With that being said, let's get into the reviews of the round of eight. We had Morocco, Canada, and we had France, Paraguay. Let me start with Morocco, Canada. Truly, I think it was a great game from Canada. They started off playing really well. They had the ball. They had control of the game, which was a surprise to me from their previous game with South Africa, which was a very lackluster performance from both teams. Um, Canada pulling through at minute 90, but still they didn't show any great football. Uh, but now versus Morocco, they went all out. They played phenomenal. Um, so let's get into it. Um, Canada had a great first half, but then quickly in minute 50 of the second half, Morocco scores. So they put the pressure on Canada, and they fall back. Let Canada have the ball, even though they had the ball the whole game. And Morocco's playing a counter attack now. So Canada had a lot of possession, had a lot of dangerous plays, but Morocco held on. And then on Onahi, he scores twice. The last 5 minutes of the game, and he just buries Canada. And what's I think what I think is great from this Morocco team is that they've reached a quarterfinals for the second time in a row, and it's not a surprise that they reached it. I think that's a highlight. They reached the quarterfinals twice in a row, and it's not a surprise that they have because they play really good football. And you can see that they put away a game that was high pressure, and that Morocco was probably suffering a bit because they had to hold on. Canada had the ball. So this was a very solid win for Morocco, winning 3-0 over Canada. And Onaki becomes the first African player to score a brace in a World Cup knockout since 2002. So that's a nice factor right there. Um, yeah, and it's not a surprise. It's lovely to see Morocco play like this, and I'm happy to see them move on in the competition. So let's move on to France Paraguay. This game, this game was a really hard fought game. Paraguay come off from their most historic World Cup knockout match ever, defeating Germany in the penalties in the round of 16. And now they have to come up against the best team of the tournament so far in France, who lines up with Olise, Dembele, Barcola, and Mbappe in attack. In the Philly Heat, it was 102 Fahrenheit, which is insane that they had to play in these conditions. But Paraguay played really well, in my opinion, really compact and physical. They played it like a Copa Libertadores match, and France had a lot of problems creating a clear chance. Um, Paraguay lined up with five in the back and four in the midfield. Really, really, really compact. No space between midfield and defense, basically. One line right ahead of the other. And on the middle, they didn't let France play really close to their area. And on the extremities, whenever Barcola or Dembele had the ball, or Olise sometimes appeared on the right side sometimes, they would have uh, two Paraguayans on them. Galarza, I think, played a phenomenal match. Galarza played great, and Cáceres played great against Mbappe, against Doué, against Barcola. Although, Barcola, Doué, and Mbappe have incredible qualities. They have incredible qualities. Cáceres did what he could, and he actually didn't let them pass, which is great. Um, so yeah, France had a really hard time against that lineup from Paraguay, and so Barcola had to come off for Doué to make a change. The Champs saw it right there, and Doué comes in and he changes France. At minute 70, he comes in, dribbles three players, and Gomez sticks his foot out. And to me, it's a clear foul. It's a clear penalty. And Mbappe buries it. He buries it at the right bottom corner, and he can't do anything about it. To me, he played such a great match. He is such a good goalie. It's really, really incredible to watch him play. He also takes two saves back to back on Mbappe. The first one he's covered by his defender, but he still blocks it. Rebounds, Mbappe gets it. Um, and what a save! What a second save from Orlando Gil. So I'd like to highlight Orlando Gil most of all in the Paraguayan team. And now this game was really physical, uh, quite controversial because a lot of people don't like the way Paraguay played this. They think they were dirty. In my opinion, Paraguay went out there with what they had. They had a strategy to take France out of the game. They tried their best, all in the back, which was great. And I see nothing wrong with what they did at all. This is football. This is another way to play football. This is just their strategies. This is this is the way that they can play against a phenomenal France team. Uh, and it's unfair to say that they have to play a certain way that will benefit the other team. No, I think they have to plan the game a certain way because they want to win, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't want to take anything away from Paraguay. Even rough housing and trash talking is their way to win. So I see nothing wrong with it. It's football. Mbappe and France had to do the same thing when it gets dirty. They have to trash talk. They have to play rough. So it's just part of football. I think it's great. And I also think France's response to it was great. They buckled down and they had to play the game. Play the game. So France goes through 1-0. Paraguay fought to the end. So France now plays Morocco. What a quarterfinals game. All right. Now with the reviews of yesterday's games, we can get into the previews of today's games. The round of eight, Norway plays Brazil, and we also have England playing Mexico later on. Let me start with the Norway Brazil. Brazil are, I think, clear favorites for this match. Even Holland, Erling played it down after the win over Ivory Coast, saying that Norway's probably not going to win and they'll lose to Brazil. In my opinion, that's your captain, and the team take on the attitude of the captain. So saying that, I don't know, I don't know if it's the right way to go about it. I know he's trying maybe take the pressure off Norway and putting it back onto Brazil by saying that, because Norway is an underdog. This, even though they are a strong team and Holland has 5 goals up and down the World Cup. I still think it's not the right way to go about it. Yeah, that's your captain saying it. That's your number one player saying that. I don't know. I don't think it'll affect the game too much, but Norway is gonna go into it knowing that they're the underdog and hoping to hit Brazil, maybe on a counter, or probably on a set piece, maybe a corner where they can throw it to Holland and he can hopefully score. But I think Brazil are clear favorites. Brazil should take care of this, although it's not going to be easy because we have to remember that they come from playing Japan in the round of 16, and that was a hard match for Brazil. That was also a very surprising match for me. I did not expect Japan to give them such a fight. But Japan has quality. But what they lack, I think, is a little bit of that managing of pressure, managing of a game. Japan is quality; they're very fast. But Brazil took over the match in the second half. And what we didn't see was Neymar coming on. Ancelotti actually said that he didn't want to play Neymar because they tied the game quicker than they expected. So it looks like Neymar is just going to be like the guy that if the going gets tough, they'll put him on and hope that he can score, create a chance, and be the game changer. But if Brazil has it controlled, it seems like Neymar's not going to be coming on, which is quite a shame. I actually want to see Neymar. I love Neymar as a player. I want Ancelotti to put him on. I would want him to put him on from the beginning. Really, I think Neymar changed the game for you. So those are my thoughts on Norway, Brazil. Let's get into England, Mexico today. England, Mexico is being played in Mexico City, in Azteca. We heard Tuchel talking about how the altitude is going to be a disadvantage for England and that they can't get accustomed to it in 3 or 4 days. So that's going to be a factor in the game. A big factor in the game is also going to be that it's being played in Mexico. It's being played in Mexico, boys. They have home advantage. We saw the Mexicans in the game against Ecuador. They were unrelenting. They put so much pressure on Ecuador. It was suffocating. It was suffocating. The fans were suffocating Ecuador. It was too much for them. The whole stadium was green. The whole stadium was yelling the whole time. That plays a big factor in a World Cup game where there's a lot of pressure. Now, can Mexico upset England? England comes off from beating Congo, which was also quite a surprise. This World Cup has been full of surprises. It's been what a World Cup we've watched so far. But Congo comes off from giving England a real wake up call, I think. And right on time, I believe that England was probably in the first half hit really hard by that first goal of Congo and wasn't being able to create anything. The midfield was lost. I think they couldn't connect with their forwards. It was a hard time for England. They couldn't find their way. So I think in the second half they started playing well. I think Declan Rice had a great performance. I think Bellingham picked it up a lot in the second half. He should have probably had a goal. But at the end of the day, it was Harry Kane who saved England. What two goals from Harry Kane to give England life again, huh? What a nine he's been, and he's now up to 5 goals in the competition. What a performance from Harry Kane! I think he's the best nine in the world right now. He's super good. So I think England overall has more quality in football to play, although Mexico has been showing a phenomenal form as well. No goals conceded so far, and I think their best game was that one against Ecuador, although they've been showing great football all the way through the tournament. But that was a bearing of Ecuador. They played so good the 90 minutes. Two golazos. They probably should have had like three or four in the game. So I think this is the match of the day so far. England versus Mexico. Really looking forward to this. How England's gonna manage that pressure being in Mexico versus Mexico. I think Mexico is a super intense team, and they're gonna come off the first minute going crazy against England and not relenting at all. So I think it depends on how England manages all this pressure, how they manage the altitude. And if England can control the game, I think they win. I think if England starts controlling the game in the first half, they win the game. Now, I think if they crack to the pressure a bit, and Mexico, if England concedes the ball, the possession over to Mexico a bit, I think they're gonna have a way more difficult time, and I think Mexico will strike there. Because Quinones and Jimenez have had actually phenomenal World Cup so far, and I think if you can get it to them in close to the area, close to the goal, I think England has a lot of problems there. So it is really crucial how they handle this. I think the first 20 minutes is gonna say what's gonna happen during the game. So I'm super excited for this match. This is probably the match of the day for me. I can't wait to come back with the reviews. And thank you for watching.
Alrighty. Thanks, boys, for listening to the Maxi Canalla Show. If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing so you don't miss tomorrow's World Cup coverage. And from wherever you're watching, Enjoy the football, and I'll see you tomorrow.